Hello everyone, I'm Stephanie Sequeira and welcome back to my channel where I share knowledge and spread happiness. So you guys must be wondering, there is a change in my background. So yeah, there is a lot of changes in today's video. I will be doing something very different from my normal videos. So yeah, to know what I'm going to do, you need to watch the full video. So basically, if you have seen my previous video, you would know that I spoke about microorganisms, giving you all a short brief about what are microorganisms and also talking about the history of microorganisms and when was it first discovered and observed, right? So after watching that video, I'm sure that many of you all must have the question in your mind that if you can't see microorganisms with your bare eyes, then how are you going to study about it? Okay, or how are you going to observe or visualize microorganisms, right? So I totally get it. I understand your question. If it was not for me to be a microbiologist, me too would have the question in my mind. So yeah, today's video is going to be exactly about that, where I explain y'all that how microorganisms observed and visualized. So yeah, let's get started. But before that, I was thinking, before telling you all about the exact topic, I want to go back and tell you a short story about a little girl. Okay, so this little girl, as many small, like tiny girls, fell sick one day. Okay, and children are mostly scared of needles, and yeah, they are too terrified of needles. So that girl, she was not keeping well for quite a long time. Yeah, so the parents took her to doctors and she was not getting well with the doctor's medicines. So the doctor prescribed her to go get her blood work done, right? So she was pretty scared and her parents took her to the pathologist, and that all normal things. Yeah, children go to the pathologist, they cry, get scared of the needles, and but then get it done finally, right? So yeah, that girl went there with her parents, got her blood work done, blood samples taken for the testing. And so after that, she was like just sitting out there and looking around, uh, looking about the environment, like what are people doing. The environment was different from usual. So she was wondering, there are people looking into some machines, looking, closing one eyes and looking in their machines. Like, she was wondering what was that, and the curiosity began. And then she went to her parents and said, oh my god, I want to go and see, like, what are they watching with their eyes closed, one eye is closed, and they are watching something. I also want to go and watch that. So then the parents said, okay, yeah, just go to them and tell them that you want to see one time, like you want to see what are you all seeing inside that. So that girl was too shy to do that. But yeah, so she kind of had that in her mind, and that led it into developing her curiosity, and she wanted to learn more and more about that, and she did it. And that girl is sitting in front of you all. That is me. I was that girl. So my curiosity developed from there. I clearly remember this thing happened to me. I was so curious to know, like, oh my god, what are they watching? Even I want to go and watch that. So yeah, that curiosity led me towards science and towards biology and microbiology. I was so happy when I went into this subject, microbiology. So yeah, I basically feel like that was my calling. And yeah, I can't be happier that I had that curiosity and I am here sitting in front of you all. So yeah, super proud and super excited that I am being able to share my story with you all. So now I'll not blabber much. Let's get into the topic. But also before that, I will tell you that there will also be more such stories about my experiences, which I feel I would share with you all. So yeah, now we'll not waste much time and get into the topic. So, when I'm talking about visualing microorganisms or observing microorganisms, what can you get from that word? That basically means seeing something, yeah, seeing microorganisms. But I told you that microorganisms are too small to be seen with our eyes, right? So that two statements don't go together, but it does. It makes sense later, right? Because there is a instrument by which you can see microorganisms or teeny tiny things can be seen with an instrument, which I'm sure many of you all may be aware of, or you have come across that instrument many times in your life, maybe in school times or college or many times. But yeah, I feel like I should be explaining it, so I am doing that. So there is a instrument to observe microorganisms, and that is a microscope. Okay, so now you will tell me, or you will think like, okay, microorganisms are seen through microscope. That's correct. I'm totally with you. But how do you think like you can see microorganisms through the microscope? Are microorganisms inside the microscope? Do you think that that if you see through the microscope you can see microorganisms? Is it what you're thinking? Then no, that is wrong. You cannot see microorganisms just by looking into the microscope. There is a proper technique for visualizing or observing microscope, which I will be discussing further. So that technique is known as staining. That is known as the staining technique, by which you can see any microorganisms under the microscope. Now when I'm talking about staining, like what do you get by staining? Like you are eating something, you're wearing a white dress. Imagine you're wearing a white dress or anything that is white, and you're eating your lunch or dinner, and you drop something on your clothes, and your clothes is stained. That mark has come on your clothes, that color is come on your clothes, right? So now when we're talking about biological term, or when we're talking about microbiology, in microbiology the staining techniques means also the same. You are staining the microorganisms, that is putting some components on the microorganisms so that you can clearly or better you have better visuals of the microorganisms under the microscope. Okay, so I told you about the staining technique. Okay, so who discovered the staining technique? It was discovered by a Danish bacteriologist whose name was Christian Gram in the year 1800s. So yeah, Christian Gram was a person who discovered the technique Gram staining, and therefore the staining technique was named after Christian Gram and is therefore known as the Gram staining. Okay, so now you know that to observe microorganisms you need to do the Gram staining technique, and then only you are able to clearly visualize the microorganisms under the microscope, right? And now you know that you have to do Gram staining also of the microorganisms. But then where are you going to place your microorganisms so that you can observe it under the microorganisms, right? So there is particular steps to ensure that your microorganisms are on a physical medium of physical support so that you can keep it under the microscope and observe it. So next is, what are the steps by which you can prepare a physical support? Okay, so for that I have got something for you all which I coincidentally found in my house. I was searching for it, so yeah, I'll get it for you. That is, you need a slide. I hope you all can see it. It's a slide, okay, a glass slide. So you need a slide. First of all, I'm not sure if you all can see it. Yeah, this. So you need a slide, okay, and not any dirty slide. You need a clean and dry slide, okay, because you don't need any other microorganisms than your actual sample you want to visualize under the microscope. So you need a clean and dry slide, and you cannot be holding it in between like this. You don't want the microorganisms from your fingerprints to get stuck on it, okay, otherwise you'll get some other microorganisms only other than your actual sample you want. So you always hold your slides towards the edges, okay, edges of the slide. Now you got the slide. Now you have to take a marker and draw a boundary on the slide, okay. Let me do that. So now I am drawing a boundary on my slide, okay. So the key is, while drawing your boundary, I hope you can see it, yeah, very slightly. So when you're drawing a boundary, you want to draw it on the other side of your slide where you are not touching the microscope, okay. You want to draw it on the downside of the slide, because you don't want that if you add your sample and then your marker also gets dissolved in your sample, you don't want that. So you'll always draw it underneath your slide where you are not touching your microscope, okay. So your slide will look somewhat like this, right? Now your slide is ready. So now you need your sample, which you need to test for what kind of microorganism is present in that sample. So now I am just taking my tap water, whatever, and just to demonstrate to you all. So I have taken tap water over here. If you can see, I hope you can now. Yeah, so I have taken tap water. And then now what you need to do is, you need to transfer this sample onto your slide, right? So you can't be pouring it into the slide, no, that's wrong. You can't be doing it with your finger, that's wrong, because now I have taken water, but then when you take any sample, be it any sewage sample or rainwater sample, whatever, you don't know what kind of microorganisms can be present in that sample. So it's not at all safe to be touching your hands into that, okay. So now you want to transfer your sample onto your slide. For that you need a certain thing which is known as a wire loop. I hope you can see it. Wait a minute. Yeah, now we can see it. Yeah, so you need a wire loop for that. And now what you got to do is, you take your sample, okay, and you take your loop, and you're going to dip the tip of your wire loop into your sample, and you're going to get a bubble onto that, okay. See, I've got a bubble of my sample onto the wire loop, okay. And now, okay, and before doing the further process, you have to keep in mind that you're doing this inside an aseptic condition where wherein there are no other contamination or other source of contamination when you are doing this scaling technique. You either need to do it in the presence of a Bunsen burner, that is, you need to have a burner in front of you, like two burners, and your hand should be between doing all the technique. So that burner is used to avoid any unwanted contamination around your technique which you are performing, right? So now I am just demonstrating it to you all. I am not performing the actual staining technique. It's just I am giving you all steps, right? So I put my loop into this, took the sample of in my loop, sample of water, tap water now, and then I am taking my slide. Okay, I am taking my slide, and what I am going to do is I am going to place this. Okay, let me show you. I am going to place it on the slide. Okay, now you see I've got the sample onto the slide. Not sure, yeah, you can see it. So now this much is not enough, you need to get more. So again you will do the same thing, you will dip your loop into your sample and place it on your slide. And when you are satisfied with the amount of sample you got on your slide, what you got to do is you have to take your loop. First you need to sterilize it, okay, and then just spread your sample, spread it nicely. Only where you have made your boundaries on the slide, only inside that you got to spread it nicely, and make sure you have no clusters, or like you have not just spread it in the between. You need to spread it nicely towards every side of your boundaries. Okay, you're done. Now your slide will look something like this with all, I'm not sure if you all can see it, but yeah, you have to spread it nicely everywhere in between your boundaries you have made it. Okay, so now as you know, now you can see water droplets on this. Okay, so what you need to do next is air dry your slide. That means you have to just let the water evaporate. Okay, you have to air dry your slide, and then what you want to do is you have to heat fix it. Okay, so now how you are going to heat fix it? Okay, I'm just doing it to show you all. This is not the actual technique because I don't have all the equipments with me at home, so I am doing it just to show you all. So yeah, let's do heat fixing. So basically you're supposed to do this technique in between two burners, that is in aseptic conditions, so that to avoid any microbial contamination in between your technique. But now, as you know, I am at home and I don't have burners in my hall. I am just going to do something just to show you all. Okay, please do not try this at home at all. So yeah, I got a candle. This will act as a burner, and I've got my slide here. Okay, now I've air dried my slide. It's totally dried now. Now I need to heat fix it. So to heat fix it, I need to pass my slide through the fire. Okay, so now that I'm going to do very slowly and carefully, but very quickly at the same time, because you don't want to hold your slide into the fire much, otherwise your microorganism will be dead and all distorted, and you will not be able to see anything under the microscope. Okay, so it should be quite quick, that is, just go through the fire. Okay, so that you're heat fixing your microorganisms, so that your sample or your microorganism is quite fixed on this slide. Okay, so now what you're going to do is, now your slide is absolutely ready. So now the next step and the main step for staining is the actual staining. Okay, this was just a preparation of your sample on the slide. And so now we are going to do the actual technique, that is gram staining. Okay, so now guys, I'm sorry I cannot show you the staining, the total staining procedure, because I do not have any stains here at the moment. We did have in college, and I was working at a place, we did have the gram staining kit over there, but yeah, I'll not be able to show you any demonstration of that, but yeah, surely I can explain you the total procedure for gram staining. Yeah, so we'll do that. So since I'm not able to show you all the actual demonstration of the staining, I will make sure that I will add pictures of the stains and the procedure as I explain it to you all. So yeah, don't worry, you will get an idea of what is gram staining actually. So yeah, let's get on to the steps. So for performing the gram staining technique, the components you need for the techniques are: first, crystal violet, the second, iodine solution, third, alcohol solution, and fourth, a stain named safranin. Okay, so now these were the total components of your technique, what all you need for your staining procedure. And now, so now you have placed your slide onto a stand. Now for the procedure, you need the first stain, that is crystal violet. You need to take the crystal violet and add it all over the boundaries where you have spread your microbial sample. You have to spread the crystal violet stain all over your boundaries wherever you have spread your sample on the loop. Okay, so now once you're done, you have to just wait for 1 minute. Once you're done putting your crystal violet stain on your slide, you need to wait for 1 minute. Okay, so after your 1 minute is done, what you need to do is, you need to go to your sink and hold your slide towards the end, okay, towards the edges, and just drain the extra stain into the sink, because whatever microbial cells will be present in your slide, that will absorb the stain how much it needs, and whatever extra you have on the sides, you need to discard it on the sink. Sorry. And then what the next step you need to do is, you need to open the tap slightly of your sink and just hold your slide like this, taper, and open your tap and keep it under slow running water. Okay, you don't want your sample to be washed off. What you want is only your slide to be very clean from your extra stain over it. Okay, so now close the tap, and now you need to keep your slide back again on your stand, and now you need to use your second solution, that is iodine solution. You need to again do the same step. You need to take your iodine solution, put it all over your boundaries where you have spread your sample nicely all over your boundaries. You have to add your iodine solution and wait for 2 minutes. So once your 2 minutes are done, you have to repeat the same step, discard your excess solution, iodine solution. Just make sure to keep it under slow running water so that your slide is absolutely clean and free from all those extra stains here and there. So you're done with iodine. And now what you need to do is, you need to get your slide, okay, take it to the sink, take your alcohol solution and just drip it downwards. You have to hold your slide like this, okay, taper towards like this. You hold your slide like this and take your alcohol solution and just drip it down on the slide. Okay, it should cover all your boundaries where your sample is present. You have to just drip it down. Okay, I'm so sorry for the thunder sound. It's pouring right now. If you hear the thunder sound, please bear with it for the moment. So now you are done with your alcohol wash. So the next step is, again you're going to put it on top of your stand, get your saffron in, smear it nicely all over your slide where you have spread your microorganisms inside your boundaries. You need to smear your stain onto that, saffron onto that nicely, and wait for 2 minutes. And when that is done, you again need to drain the excess. Okay, give it a little keep it under running water for some time, like 5 seconds or so, just to make sure your slide is completely clean. Okay, you don't want excess stains everywhere, which will cause disturbance in when you watch your when you observe your microorganisms under the microscope. You will just see like big dots of stain there. You don't want that. You don't want to confuse yourself. You want to make sure that you are only seeing microbial cells and not stains on your slide. So yeah, please be sure to rinse your slide under running water for some time. Okay, so this was the total the total purpose of my video, to just explain you all that how can you observe microorganisms under the microscope, and what techniques are being used to do that, and how do you do that, how do you prepare your sample, and just keep it under the microscope and watch it. So now when you are done with your staining procedure, you're done with the final saffron and you have drained and kept it under the running water. And now the next thing is, your slide is wet because it is under, you have kept it under the running water for some time. Now what you got to do is, you can't directly go and watch under the microscope. No, you cannot take anything wet under the microscope. You cannot do that. So what you are going to do is, you have a stand. Okay, you're going to keep it tapered on the stand you have, so that all the water gets drained out and you have a dry slide. And then when you have a dry slide and you are totally ready to go and observe your microbial cells under the microscope, you just need to keep your slide under the microscope and observe it. Okay, so yeah, that was my total purpose of explaining it to you all, and I hope you all have understood it. I am so sorry that if the video was too long. Trust me, if I would explain the total principle and working of this gram staining technique, I'm sure it would go about like half an hour. I have not done any of that. I've just explained to you the steps and the procedure of gram staining, which I feel is enough for today's video, because if I go on talking and explaining you things, you're not going to understand anything. Everything will evaporate. So I will be keeping it only this much for this video, and the principle and the working, everything, I will make another video for that. So but yeah, it is totally worth it if you watch it. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you all like the videos. I will be back with more such videos. Till then, take care.